Ryan Elvin, what's going on, my man?
What's going on?
Yo, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I met you first, and your trainer, Shawn Hardiman, ball hard, b ball. He like introduced you as like a special guy. Like, and I can't remember everything he said about you, but what? Why do coaches and your coach at the school you're at right now shouted you out too? Tell me this: when did you start knowing that you had a gift for basketball and that you were going to be as dedicated to it as you are right now?
Um, Probably when I was just getting into middle school. I really found my love for the game. Like up to elementary, I was always it was kind of like more of like a hobby, and I was like really into it. But around like sixth grade, I really started to learn like what it was gonna take to be at the next level. And then once I just like I seen my passion grow for it as like every day I wanted to be in the gym more. Like I'd get done a workout and I'd be like, dang, that was a lot of fun. Like, and I might struggle with certain drills and stuff like that, but I'd be like, well, I want to get better at that. So I'll come back later that night. And then that behavior got consistent over time. And then that's when really like people started latch on is like this guy's work ethic is a little different, and that's when I really started to realize that not being the most like naturally talented, that it was going to take the extra work, maybe getting in an extra 1 to 2 hours than my competition in order to kind of set me apart and get to where like I wanted to.
What was your frame like? Let's say middle school. What are you like 5, 6,
Yeah,
7
so
at 100 something pounds?
nah, um I started off freshman year probably about 5'2", and uh now I'm like 6 foot 6'1". So I grew almost a foot in 4 years. And I don't remember my weight, but that was always a knock. I was always they always said I wasn't gonna be big enough. I started off, I played senior year in high school, I think at 130, and I weighed in at 167, and I just got done my freshman year in college. So it took a lot of work, but I always like lived in the weight room in high school. I just could never really put on the weight because
Yeah.
everyone would always say he got to get bigger. He got to get bigger. We love his skill set, but he's got to be able to take the bumping and bruising. But
And is
senior
everyone
year,
like other coaches who were recruiting you, or it was everyone?
yeah, it was like a lot of coaches that were recruiting me. It's just like um, we love his game, but we don't like his frame,
Mm.
because I would kind of get pushed off my line and stuff like that. But then going into my senior year, my junior to senior year, I put on a good amount of weight to even get to that 135 range, and
Mm.
saw a big difference in my game, and I was able to stay on my line a little bit better, and it helped me on both sides of the ball, defense and offense, just being able to take the contact, being more physical at the point of attack and stuff like that. And then uh, my senior year, after I was done playing in school, before I went to Houston, I gained like another 10 pounds, and I came to Houston like 145. And at Houston, they put like 20, 25 on me.
And I can imagine it's hard to keep that speed, keep that agility when you're putting on all that weight. So as hard as you're working to put the mass on, you still got to be
Yeah.
able to keep the movement. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. And still,
Uh,
like playing basketball, you got to be able to move too. So I make sure I do a lot of stretching, and really our strength trainers do a good job of like putting it on like the right way, so we don't lose like
mm.
the speed and the lateral quickness and stuff like that. And so yeah.
What man? What did you average in high school in freshman year? Did you play varsity? Did you play JV? And what did you
Vars
average?
I played JV my freshman year. I think I was like 5 foot at the time. So I played JV, and then after my first season on JV, I moved up to varsity. I started varsity the rest of the 3 years after that, and then I don't remember all my averages. I think
Ballpark.
yeah, I think probably on JV I averaged like 10, 9, 8 as a freshman on JV, and then each year kind of gradual in high school. I think it went to like 11, 14 to 17 my senior year.
Got it. And for you, what was okay? When did I meet you? You were a junior when I met you.
I think probably a sophomore, going to be a junior. I think
Sophomore,
maybe a junior.
man.
I think
And
it's.
when so I think it's sophomore too. When did you meet Shawn Hardiman? When did you meet and
I
start
started
training at
working
ball
with
hard?
him in probably like 5th grade.
Mm.
Yeah, probably about 5th grade. 5th grade.
Did y'all always work out like that? And for people who don't know, man, I'll say it for you. Y'all work out like some animals. Y'all work out like it's weird, bro. I went down there the first time, and y'all didn't have any reps. Like Coach Sean would say, do a drill, and y'all over here busting y'all's behind, going as hard as you can with no end, like with no like how many reps did I do? Like
Yeah.
what is that about, bro? And like, did it take you a while to get used to that? Like, what is that about for you to actually even be able to do that for 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, I would say that like it helped me a lot because like even nowadays when I work out with him, I ask him how many. He says a lot. He just starts smiling, and it's just like it gets me mad because I'm used to like putting like a number on it, so I know like all right, I need to go hard for all 15 of these reps. But him, I might be going hard for 45. Like it just depends.
Yep.
But I think that really helps build like like your mental toughness, like putting a cap on a number, you can kind of like fake go hard for like 10 reps and then just chill after that.
Right.
But not knowing how many reps you're gonna do and just knowing that he's gonna expect you to go hard every time just really helps. Like, all right, I get to rep 20, like I got 10 more shots. I need to go as hard as I can possible. It just kind of helps you like get through like your threshold that you wouldn't be able to push yourself in the situation. You want to be comfortable, but he puts you in situations where you gotta like kind of like dig deep down and be like, do I really love this? And if I do, well then you gotta dig down and just like complete the task. You know what I mean? So I just
And do
say
you
that
still get nervous going into the gym there? Like, not there, but just when did you start like getting comfortable with that kind of a workout? Like,
oh yeah. Well, I was been around it since I was so young. So like I think that was like a big testament to like what helped me develop like the work ethic, just like that, like you're just gonna put your head down and grind, like because that's like what expected. And like
mhm,
he always does a good job of having other talent in the gym, so that like as a 6th grader,
mhm,
I was working out with other D1 players. So like if you slouching, they're gonna let you know. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you don't want to look bad, and you don't want to mess up their workout as well. So if you're not going
right.
hard or stuff like that, they're gonna hold you accountable. So that I kind of got comfortable as time went on, being like, all right, well, this is what is expected, so I can't bring in anything less. I'll see, he might get on me or something. So
Mhm.
it's just kind of like wanting to prove to them, like, hey, I belong working out with y'all, even like as a 6th grader. Like I shouldn't be working out with other 6th graders. You know what I mean? I want to work out with y'all, so I gotta make sure I'm at my at my best every day.
Man, and I wish people could see y'all work out. Like, who were listening to this, I think it was the second time I came down there, or the first time, because you caught me off guard because I was literally I trained you the first time, and like the workout was tough. Like, I was giving my best stuff. Y'all were working. I'm thinking we're done because down here in South Carolina we'd be done for the day usually. You hit me up and wanted to get in the gym another time to get some. Matter of fact, you were down to do whatever kind of workout, which was wild to me. You were down to like do another workout that was extreme, that was hard. Why are you so dedicated, and why do you work so hard at this game? What is your mindset with this?
Yeah, so I would say that like my whole life I've been like an underdog. Because like my frame, just like everyone is always like, I'm too small, you're not quick enough, not fast enough, stuff like that. But I always wanted to like prove them wrong. You know what I mean? Like, like I believe in myself, and I'm always gonna like bet on myself. So when things would get hard, I'll just always remember, like this person said that you're not gonna make it, and so that would always kind of drive me to be like the best person I can be, like best player I can be, and that's why I always try to work out so much. And just because everyone, it's not necessarily always about how much you're in the gym, but it's also like what you're doing when you're in the gym. Like I always see guys post on Instagram, stuff like that they're in the gym for 5 hours. But if you're in the gym for 5 hours at one time, it's hard to be going like hard for 5 hours. So my question is always like, what are you doing in that time? So I just always like, when I was young, used to put in my head like, oh, my competition might be going harder than me right now. Like I just kind of, I don't know. I'm just a little different. My mentality is a little different when it comes to like work ethic. It just like some just triggers me just to, like internally motivate myself and just like want to go harder just because I want to be the best. And I hate failure. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I miss a shot and when I'm working out, I'm just thinking, well, that one missed shot can equate into a missed game winner or something. So I just like strive for perfection, which sometimes does me wrong because I'd be trying to do like 10 in a row at the end of the workout and just be there for
in there forever. Right.
Yeah. But that's really what it takes. Just like pushing yourself to like limits. That way when it's kind of like filling up like a tank, like the next day you just gotta build on top of that. You know what I mean? So if you push your threshold in your skill development like past a certain point one day, well then when the next day you're starting at a higher point than what you did the next day. You know what I mean? You never want to like take negative steps. You always want to build and stack good days on top of each other.
Mm-hmm. And for you, was it always I'm working for D1? Like, okay, before I ask about that, are you more motivated by people saying you can't do something, proving other people wrong, or are you more motivated by proving yourself right because you believe in yourself?
For sure. I said prove people wrong, but proving myself right, it for sure. Like is another way to
Okay.
put that. Like
Okay.
boom. Yeah, my goal has always been to play at a D1 level. So like boom, I'm gonna try as much as I can to make that possible. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, because you can't listen too much to what other people have to say because they don't know what you go through on a daily basis. You know what I mean? They don't know where you came from. They don't know your story. They just see like the results of the work you're putting in or stuff like that. So you just kind of be like, I know all the work I put in, and like eventually that's going to pay off in some fashion, some form or another. That kind of
What
answers the question.
what would you tell kids, high schoolers who like have that same passion, that same drive, and they're getting discouraged because you see everything that happened with COVID. People are in the transfer portal. Like people got their eligibility back, so it kind of messed up that pipeline. What motivation would you give somebody who wants to play Division I basketball, but they're not seeing much hope? Because I'm sure you probably had some moments where you were like, "Is this going to actually happen? Is this going to pan out?"
Yeah. I would just say that everybody's race is different, and that sounds kind of cliche, but I was also like the same way. Like I was seeing all my people, like all these people get offers, and I wasn't. I was like, man, like, I'm better than them. You know what I mean? So I definitely know the struggles that you guys might be going through, and every person is different. Some people start getting offers freshman year, sophomore year, like by big time schools, and I was kind of like a late bloomer, and I popped onto the scene like late, and my thing
What's late? For you, what was late?
Really like junior summer, gonna be senior. Like
Got it.
my end of the junior year, like junior year, I started to get some traction, but then like in the April events, my junior gonna be senior year. So my last summer is really when I started. And I would just say that don't get discouraged by what you see others doing, because like I said, everyone's race is different, and eventually opportunity will come. You just got to make sure that you're ready for the opportunity, which I was, because you can't complain that this person's getting this and that, but when your opportunity comes, you don't make the most of it. You know what I mean? So I'll, like, with the guidance of my dad and stuff like that, and Shawn, they always just say, like, just keep getting ready because your opportunity is going to come. And that's when it did. And I was seen by the right people, and the rest of it is history.
When did they see you? Like, what do you remember the game they were there, or the tournament, and how you were playing?
I think it was like certain schools see me at some different tournaments that I went to in like Dallas and San Antonio, Houston, other places. I also went to the NCAA Basketball Academy camp. It happened to be at the University of Houston, but there was like bunch of other D1 schools there, D2, D3. It was really like a bunch of schools there, because it was like the new rule where they had 4 different locations of camps and 2 sessions. So it's like an individual camp, but then you got put on like a camp team. So that was different. And that I turned a lot of heads in that, for sure. Going up against like highly recruited guys and stuff like that. And just like every game, there was like multiple coaches there, and they weren't necessarily watching me. But I mean, you see, like, if they see somebody doing good, then they gonna, start expressing interest and see, start watching a little bit more closely. And it's just one thing I always live by is, like, you never know who's in the gym and who's watching. So like, my dad used to always tell me, like, if I used to get mad in the workout, well, then that's like bad attitude. Well, what if a college coach was to walk in right there? Like, what would they think? And that really helped me prepare me for like those opportunities when I really was getting recruited, because it kind of, they don't just look at your abilities like on the court, but also like, what are you doing when you get subbed out? How are you making others better? You know what I mean? Because in college, everybody is good. Everybody has talent. So it's like, what can you bring to make the team better other than just scoring or dunking, blocking shots?
That's crazy. Like, even me thinking about that, your dad, that's so wise, because in the training session, like you said, like, it's that 10th shot, and you've hit 8 out of 9, and you missed that, and you're 8 out of 10 instead of 9 out of 10. Like you said, you guys, you try to make 9 out of 10 before you move to another spot, right? And it's easy to just like go off, start cussing, get mad, because like you're by yourself, you're working out with somebody else. But at the same time, it's a good opportunity to work on that emotional resilience and not getting mad and getting carried away to the point where a coach would not like your nonverbal behavior and your body language. I never thought about it like that. Honestly, I just
go ahead. I was gonna say, or even like, it wasn't really a problem with me, but like other people that used to work out with me, and he would say it to them, or my brother's friends, like, if you're not going hard in the workout because you're tired or you think that drill's not important, well, like, what if you did that in the game and that was your one opportunity to be seen by a coach? Like, you just never know who's watching. Like, even like in the workout, you miss, you not going hard enough on like, you're not sprinting to half court and back for your shot, you just kind of jogging. Well, what if somebody walks in there and is evaluating you, and you just miss out on an opportunity? So it's just good practice.
And what if it's something else, man? You saying that, I got a couple of guys in my head right now who are solid, but it's just like, yeah, you're solid right now, but yeah, if you got a head coach, the assistant coach for a high major, mid major, low major program that's watching you,
And you can't
Well, they
just
want
turn
you
it on.
to.
You can't just think you're gonna turn it on when
Right.
when the lights come on. You got to be prepared for that moment. You know what I mean? You gotta practice that. It's like practice makes perfect. Well, if you practice not going hard, well, then all of a sudden you try to go hard and impress them, and all of a sudden you're not making shots. It's because you never went at that speed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You never.
What would you do looking back in hindsight, knowing what you know right now, having a full year of Division I basketball under your belt? Because let's make no mistake about it, like your body frame, and your playing, your speed, athleticism, and it sounds like not many people believed you could play Division I basketball first and
Mhm.
foremost. But you're there, you're playing now. What would you do differently, or what would you tell yourself if you were in the ninth grade, 10th grade, about how you need to work out to prepare for what you've gone through this past year?
Yeah. So I think I did a pretty good job of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as far as the transition on how hard we work, it's only elevated like my work. It just made me like realize, like, when you're around other people that are trying to be like professionals at the sport, like you see, like, yeah, like somebody might hit me up, boom, let's go get like 500 more shots up tonight. Like I just did that last week with somebody. It's just like you got to bring something to the table too. Like they wouldn't hit me up if I was lazy and didn't want to be in the gym, because they want to be around other people who had the same goals as them. But I was saying that a lot of people might struggle with the speed and how much work it is, because greatness is expected from you at all time, and like you can mess up and stuff like that, but the effort is really what coaches pride themselves on at the next level. And how hard you go, like if you're going to have speed and you mess up, then there's going to be consequences. But if you go on full speed as hard as you can, you mess up, you know, they're going to be like, yeah, good work, like keep going. So I would just say that work on like going as hard as you can every rep and not taking reps off. So even if you have to do like sets of 7 of coming off a ball screen into a pull-up instead of like 15 per se, just so you can go hard, well then just do a few more extra sets so you can go hard all 7 reps, boom, take a break. Make sure you go hard all 7 reps, instead of if you're going for 15 reps and you're trying to put up 1,000 shots, well, you're doing 1,000 shots might not be the best if you're trying to work on going game speed. That might be good for reps, but I think when I was in high school, I kind of had to adjust to that too. Like there's days where you should get up a lot of reps on the gun and stuff like that, but there's also other days where you should maybe get up less shots and be more game simulated, like, and transition, sprint from the volleyball line to 3-point line 10 times and make 7 out of 10. Whereas on the gun, you might just shoot 30 stationary shots, and that's good to get up a lot of reps, but just always keep in mind that you need both.
And I'm hearing you say, like, even as a trainer right now, man, I'm hearing you say quality is just as, if not more important than the quantity. So like making
Right.
the reps good, not just doing a lot of reps that could be bad, going from 15 to 7. And variability and randomization is good too. So like not doing the same thing to where you get comfortable, but having different drills, different kind of shots, so there's better transfer when it comes to game time. And you've done it before.
There was always stuff in high school that like certain ball handling drills that I made sure I did like every day, like that's like a staple. And that's still like I still do that today, but I would also say like you got to mix it up. You can't do the same stuff every single day, because you're only focusing on like a certain part of your game. Like you got to make sure it's as expanded as possible. And I would just say, yeah, like there's days where you might need to make like 21 shots before you move on to the next spot, but there's also days where you might want to incorporate a little more game action, like coming off like a down screen into a curl 1 drill pull up. Make 7 of those, and 7 of those might make you more tired than just 21 stationary jumpers. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Whatever the number is, but like my point is just like go hard for a certain amount of reps because we're all humans. We can't maybe go hard for 30 sprint, half court back, all that, like 30 reps, but it might be a better number to go like 7 or 10 and go as fast as you can for them 10 reps and then take a break and go as fast as you can, 10 more reps. And then over time, you might be able to build up to doing that 15 times, 13, like, you know what I mean?
Right. So, okay, let me ask you this. I've seen how hard you work. I've seen how hard you guys work down there. And I understand that some kids that I'm training up here, they won't want to put that work in, nor probably can they put that work in because they don't have the stomach for it. For you, what should be, some people say they want to play Division I basketball. I've heard it, but what does that really look like? Like, what does a day look like for you? What time are y'all waking up? What time are you going to bed? What is the hardest season, like out of season, in season, preseason? What's the hardest season? What's that day look like for you guys?
Yeah. We have like, well, before the season, we have like a conditioning month where we got to get up early every day, probably around 6, do conditioning, lift weights, and then we probably have like an individual workout with like different groups, like a guard group around 8 o'clock for about 45 minutes, and then the rest is like on your own. Like you can hit up like a manager, stuff like that. We play pickup. It really just depends. During the season, it'll be more like team practices every day, where you have to come do some workouts before that and after practice. And weights aren't as serious during the season. We still make sure we get our weights in, but it's not every day. And there's not like extra conditioning piece. But I would say that the hardest part is probably the off season, right before the season, because they're trying to build like mental toughness and like the culture of the team. And that's kind of where we all like bond together, because it's like the hardest month because they put us in adverse situations that are hard, a lot of running, conditioning, stuff like that. So you gotta learn how to like push through. But I would say like a typical day is you wake up at 6, you have a workout, like running wise, then you got another workout for basketball wise, and then come back.
So you condition before you do your actual on-court workout. Like you run from 6 to 7, and then from like 7:15 to 8, you do an on-court workout, and then
and then you can come back later in the day. Might play, like right now we play pickup during the summer, and then usually a few of us will go back in the gym like at night around like 6 or 7, get our shots up, get a workout in. Sometimes play one-on-one on the weekends and stuff to work on everything we've been working on in like the skill sessions. And then not to keep in mind, you still got school. So right now we're on online school, but so you still gotta go to school, make sure your schoolwork is good. You know, you can't stay up too late because you got to do it all again the next day. So it's just you got to be, as a high schooler, you got to start learning how to like manage your time and be efficient, because time is not time does like run out in a day. You only get a certain amount of time, you know. So yeah.
Right. Is there anything else you can think of, man? You were talking to little you, 8th grade you, 9th grade you. What advice would you give someone who wants to play college basketball? Is it the condition on their own just a little bit? Is it, like you said, the quality over the quantity? Like what's another
I would just
last
say,
piece of advice?
I would just say that remember what comes first. To me, like academics always come first, because if you're not good academically, then it's gonna be hard for you to get into college. I'll always say to try to be the best person you can be like off the court, because that carries like on the court. Like there's been a lot of people I know really talented on the court, but they do bad stuff off the court. So therefore they might not get the same opportunities to play in college as somebody else, even though that they're extremely talented. So make sure all that is good. And then I would say to spend as much time in the gym as you can. And you really got to prioritize what's important to you. If you might have to make a lot of sacrifices. I never went to prom or anything like that, homecoming, which I'm not saying that's the only way to go about it. You can still be successful, but my dad wishes I would have went to prom. He tells me I was a little too focused, but
Well, so did you like work out instead, or did you like just say I don't want to be around
nah,
a
it's
lot of
just really
people?
just wasn't my scene. Like
Yeah.
actually we had a tournament. We had a tournament, like a live period tournament, so I couldn't miss it. But it was just like other things. I wasn't a big football game guy. I went to a few. I'd rather be in the gym getting shots up. It just depends. You got to find what works for you. And I found that put in as much time in the gym as possible was something that worked for me. So I didn't really like doing other things that kind of steered me away from that. And then I'll just say that you do got to balance it. I've learned to do a better job of balancing like hanging out with friends other than just in the gym, because yeah, you got to be in the gym a lot, but you can do both. But I would say that if you want to play D1 basketball, you can't be more worried about hanging out with your friends than missing a workout. Maybe do the workout first and then go spend some time with them. You know what I mean? Just like
Right.
there's different ways to go about it other than just saying, oh, Dad, I can't work out today. I got my friend's birthday party. Maybe ask your trainer or just go outside into a park or something and be like, work out 45 minutes. And then that way, you know that I got to work out 45 minutes. I'm still in good standing basketball wise. Like I got better today and I get to hang out with my friends, stuff like that.
That's a good message though, brother, because if anybody, you're definitely. I've only seen you 2 or 3 times in person, but you're by far, I would say, the hardest working kid that. And I got 2 other guys that come to mind, but like outside of those 2, the hardest working young man that I know. But even you are saying like you can balance this. You can be 100% fully bought in, and I'll use the word obsessed with it. You can be
Yeah.
obsessed with whatever your mission is, and I would think you have an obsession with this. You like your
Yeah.
DNA is different, but you still can also make time and balance those other things. You're home right now for a week before you guys go back.
Yeah.
So it's like you can balance that even if you have
There's
an
like a
obsession,
happy
which is I think
medium.
good. It's a
Yeah.
happy medium. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Like it's healthy. It's not healthy for you to always be in the gym all day, 24/7.
Right.
So it's a healthy medium. A happy medium. I like how you put that.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I appreciate this, man. I think this was pretty well. It went pretty well, and I definitely don't want it to be the last one though. So I appreciate you
Yes, sir.
just making time, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.